Hello, everyone. Revolver Guy prepping for poor people. Just want to do a little video today on prepping and to ask you how prepared you are. A lot of things going on right now. I tell you, it's just amazing how things just keep going and going and going. All the things we see from a possible food shortage coming on. They even have the signs up in my local Walmart here in Western North Carolina about shortage on canned vegetables. I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. I can't really find anything that is definitive or proof of what it is one way or the other. Uh, but there's one thing for sure. They have a notice up saying that there's a shortage right now. And so that's just one more reason to be prepared to plant your garden, to get out there and get something done. I guess it would have been real early this morning or late last night over in South Korea. They're probably 12 hours away, on the opposite time zone of us, opposite side of the earth. Russia flew into South Korean airspace, and South Korea fired several warning shots, I guess, probably from a 20 or 30 millimeter cannon, whatever they carry on their aircraft over there. It wasn't missiles, but they fired at them as warning shots in order to get them to leave the airspace. Russia, of course, is denying this. Russia always denies everything. You can't trust anything they say at all. I do, however, pretty much trust what South Korea says. I mean, South Korea has been a great ally to the United States. Of course, they about have to be because we're the only thing keeping China and North Korea off of them. But South Korea, those are good people, and they're free people, and they've always backed the United States whenever we did, even though most time our government's been wrong because it's all about greed and money anyway. But nevertheless, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that things are really heating up. I did read one news article that said that that possibly was a warning from Russia to the United States that Russia and China are backing Iran in this whole mess. Of course, you got Iran, who is constantly pushing the envelope. Who knows if that's even actually Iran doing it? I mean, I tell you, there's so much so many dirty things done by people who would benefit a lot from a war with Iran that who knows if it's just not somebody pushing buttons on both sides to try to get something started. I don't know. I mean, there's no doubt Iran is it's an evil regime, and it should have been taken out a long time ago. But I certainly am not one to want to commit our troops to any more war. But with all that said, my question is how prepared are you? Because there's certainly something coming down the line. The communist socialists in this country they are pushing the envelope every single day. I mean, they're getting more and more radical. They come out and say more and more crazy things. They will do anything to get Trump out of office. And that tells me that it's not just about politics, Republican and Democrat, because that I really don't care about. But there has to be a reason why these people want him out of office so bad. These people want open borders. They want this socialist government that basically is just a communist government. They are the enemy of this country, and most of them are the enemy of God. And so they're just pushing every day, and that just tells me that although I know Trump's not perfect, and he's done things I haven't agreed with, and he's probably doing things he shouldn't be doing, but he's doing a lot of things they don't like. And probably if it's something they don't like, it's probably something good for this country. So as we get ready here, as we prepare, I hope you've had something planted this summer. I mean, I've got my garden will be coming in. It's already started coming in. I'll have a lot of corn and potatoes, which are the main staples. That's the main thing I try to grow. I think those are things that They produce a lot. They store fairly easily. You can, I mean, potatoes, you just need a cool area for them, and they'll keep for a year. Corn is it's easy to can or freeze, whichever one you want to do. Of course, I have other vegetables too, but those are my main two staples. And then that with my preps and my rice and beans and things I have put up. You know, and then some chickens for eggs and maybe even some rabbits for meat. These are all things we really need to be concentrating on and working on, and do a little bit every day. I mean, I get kind of frustrated once in a while because I'll think, well, I really need this or I really need that, but I don't have the money or the time to take care of it right then. So, but I've done a little bit every day until I've gotten where I need to be, and I'm still not where I need to be, but I'm better off than I ever was. That's for sure. Uh, I guess the point I'm trying to make is if there's something that you're lacking, something you know is vitally important, work on that first. Obviously, food, shelter, and water are going to be your main things. Of course, without some type of firearm and ammunition to protect those, you're probably not going to hold on to them very long. But once you got, I would suggest getting your water situation squared away first. You only live 3 days without water, so that's probably one of the most important things you can do. But water is pretty simple. It really is. I mean, you can filter it through coffee filters and boil it. Food is one that takes a lot more time and effort because it's expensive and it takes time to stock it up and to stock it right. You want to make sure it's in containers that it's going to last. It's not going to be infested with rodents or pests. And obviously firearms are expensive, so it's you don't need a bunch of firearms. One or two good quality firearms with enough ammunition, and you'll be fine. But a big thing will be once this collapse situation or whatever happens starts, you have to ask yourself how are you going to boil your water? How are you going to cook your food? So then fuel becomes a real important thing, whether that be gasoline, propane, wood. I think wood's going to be a really big thing because that's something that can be replaced and won't necessarily end or won't necessarily go away with the absence of power. It will take a lot of labor to get it where you want it, but that's something that's going to be a very important part of prepping. So anyway, those are some real important things to think about. Are you going to generate some power at least in the short term? That's something that I've thought about and how I'm going to. I mean, even things as simple as refrigeration would be pretty important. I'm not where I need to be. I really would like to have some solar panels and get some solar power hooked up. I don't have that. I do have a couple of generators. I've got a way to run my well pump if I want to. I have rainwater collection systems. I have creeks and rivers around me. So as far as water supply, I'm okay. But and then even in the aspect of cooling things, refrigeration and freezer, I have a small refrigerator, a small chest freezer that I could run. I could run a generator in intermittent levels, maybe 4 or 5 hours a day, and it would keep the food in there cool and frozen. So especially if it's wintertime, I can pretty much set it outside in the climate I live in. But it's all something that you have to think about. A small generator would be a great thing to have. You don't need a great big one. You're not going to be able to power your entire house. I do have about 8,000 watt generator that I use to power my house during storms and things. That's okay for a short term thing, from a storm or whatever. But in a collapse, a grid down situation, that thing's going to chew up so much fuel, and it's going to waste a lot of energy on power I don't need. So that's why a small 1,000 watt inverter, generator or something like that is a great thing. They just barely sip the fuel. I mean, I'm talking about a half a gallon a day would be a good thing. So I have enough right now. I could probably go, I don't know, 4 or 5 months like that, just running a few hours a day. And still, that way you still have a little bit of power to do things with, make life a little more convenient, because you're going to have to adapt. It's going to take time. I don't care how much you bushcraft or how much you've done. It's going to take time to adapt in the situation with no electricity, no grid. And I think if you can kind of do it in a little bit of a slower pace, it'll make it a little easier on you and your family, especially if you have kids. Uh, but there's a lot of things to consider. A propane generator is a great way to go because propane can be stored indefinitely. Gasoline has to be rotated, which I do. I rotate gasoline every year. But it takes a lot to store 100 gallons of gasoline. I mean, it really does. It's hard to do. Of course, you're going to have gasoline in your vehicles too that you can use. If you can't get it anywhere else, you can drain that out. But still, best case scenario, I'm looking at 130 or 40 gallons of gasoline. And so, like I say, I'm looking at 3 to 6 months, just depending on how I use it. I would like to go to a propane generator in the future, and I may look into that. It's just a big expense. So you just do everything you can do with what you have. Just do a little bit every day, and that's what's important. And especially when it comes to food preps and a way to cook and heat your home, that's going to be very important. I have a wood stove that's not real big. It's big enough. I can move it. That way I can move it in and out. It doesn't have to be inside my house. In the warmer months, I can cook outside. And then in the colder months, I could always move it in to keep warm with. So that entails a whole other thing with a whole large supply of wood that you're going to need. It's another reason why I have gasoline. I have 2-cycle engine oil on hand to run my chainsaw with, so at least I can cut some more wood. But you need to have quite a bit of wood stored. I probably don't even have enough of that, but that's one of my next things I'm going to be doing here, probably between now and the full harvest time, is getting some more wood cut. I don't think you can ever have enough of that stored up. But it's a lot of labor and it's a lot of work. So something I enjoy, being outside. I tell you, today it's been rainy here the last couple of days. It's really cool. It's about 66 degrees. It's been about the high today here in West North Carolina up in the mountains. So it's a pretty cool day for July. Usually it's not quite that cold, but I enjoy it. It's been up in the 80s here lately, so it's just been a nice day to at least get outside and walk around. I had to work last night. I've got to work tonight, so I won't get a whole lot done today. But anyway, I thank you for watching this video. If you would like a comment, leave me some comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me some things maybe you need to work on. Maybe that's something I haven't looked at. I need to work on as well. And remember, all gun laws are unconstitutional.